is up, guys? This is your girl, Cristelon. So for today's video, I will show you what the physical, material, political, and digital aspects of the self. So let's watch.
Hello, so today we're going to discuss about physical self. So physical self concept is the individual's perception of themselves in areas of physical ability and appearance. Physical ability includes concepts such as physical strength and endurance, while appearance refers to attractiveness. Physical self refers to the body, this marvelous container and complex, finely tuned machine with which we interface with our environment and fellow beings. The physical self is a concrete dimension, the tangible aspect of the person that can be directly observed and examined. Scientifically, however, this important aspect of ourselves seems to have lost somewhere between Eastern detachment and Western narcissism. So much of that, sufficient theoretical development of this issue is lacking. However, directly or indirectly, the discussion on physical self has found a place in various schools of psychology like psychoanalysis, behaviorism, humanism, and etc., with some of its most ardent exponents and followers dealing with the varying proportions. So today, we're going to give you the examples of physical self.
Magandang dilag, puso ko yung nabihag. Wala nang ninanais, biyaya ng langit.
Hello guys, this is Baby Cora. So the next video features OOTD and collections.
I want that. I want this. This is all I want. Because this is all I wanted. Why do we even buy what we want to buy? And why do we know what we need to buy? I wonder. According to William James, the material self pertains to the objects, places, and even people which have the label mine. We are defined by the clothes we wear, our house, cars, and even our pets can serve as our identity. It indicates one's social status. The more expensive you possess, the more people are impressed. In our modern world, it is evident how people value material things more than the essence of life. An example, family, friends, and even peace of mind. People judge you by just looking at the brand of your clothes. And we are so engrossed with whether the shoes we are wearing is original or fake. All of these material things becomes our sole concern. And sadly, that's how our life runs. A materialistic person prioritizes making a lot of money and having many possessions. It triggers competitive, manipulative, and selfish behavior. As there is an urge to acquire unnecessary things, we can stop consuming unless we change our mindset.
This video is interesting because it shows what a Filipino really is.
So, hi guys! My name is Laura Neres Raya Vigaldo, and today I will discuss to you about what is political self. But first, we must talk about what is politics. So, politics is defined as a social institution through which power is acquired and exercised by people in the groups. In which, guys, it means that man in nature is a political animal. Then, what is political self? Political self exemplifies the ideals and aspirations of the people embodies the rules and principle of the states and determine the status and power of the people, in which it defined as citizenship. Like citizenship is the most basic identification. Like us, we identify as Filipinos, in which Filipinos relates ourselves to a group of other people who also see themselves as citizens of a larger polity. Then guys, according to Maria Serena Jokno, 1997, she says that political self-identity are developed through socialization, which through socialization, it gives ways which people learn the knowledge, norms, values, motives, and roles appropriate to their position in a group. And also, she says that social interaction people learn the status, duties, rights, and power with other people in a certain group or community. Then also, political self is influenced and modified by the opinions, comments, and suggestions of other people. So guys, the second is we talk about what is the origin of political self, like where we can get this type of political self. So first is family. Like family has a hierarchical structure in which in a certain family we have positions, status, and power. Then second is school. School is to teach moral, spiritual, and political values that will help the students to become good leaders. And third is the church. It helps the shape ideals of a citizenship and democracy through religious teaching, values, and tradition. Then the fourth one is peers, which is interaction with peers encompasses and emphasizes the equal distribution of power, rights, and privileges among members of the group. Then, lastly is the mass media, where it is the key where we can get informations. Then guys, the last topic that I will discuss to you is about theory of political self. The first theory is social learning theory, in which in social learning theory, we acquire learning through observation and limitation. Then the second theory is cognitive theory, in which it suggests that the mental activities like knowledge, ideas, and perceptions of individuals are important determinants of behavior. Then the third theory is theory of symbolic interaction, which means it is the behaviors are products of communication, meaning, and symbol. And lastly guys, is the theory of political self, which means it is defined as the citizen's action or activities anchored in politics. So guys, that's all for today. I know that you will learn something from me. That's all. Thank you.
Hello guys, so these are some traits and values of Filipinos. So first, the Filipino hospitality. We Filipinos are best known for our hospitality, and most tourists or foreigners would actually claim this because of how we treat our guests. Not just for the tourists, but also for our fellow citizens or friends or relatives. We would actually prepare something nice to eat, or would really put much effort for them not to feel uncomfortable, right? So that is how hospitable we are when it comes to entertaining our guests in our homes. And second is respect for elders. Way back from our ancestors in the past colonizations of our country, the values of respecting elders have been really preserved and passed up until this generation. And we all know that the most common example of this is yung pagmamano and saying po at opo while greeting or talking to the elders. So third is the close family ties. This is also one common trait of us being a Filipino. We are naturally connected and close to our family and relatives, and actually extended family is one of a common scenario wherein two or more families would live in the same roof and not choosing to depart from living from our parents even after having their own family. Next is a cheerful personality. Amidst all of the negative happenings and circumstances in our nation, Filipinos never leave the spirit of positivity and hope. Despite all these odds, we still got the courage to smile, like what we have seen in the TV about typhoons. It is kinda cute and funny how Filipinos still got the courage to wave and smile for the camera just because they are happy being seen in the TV. So I think this is one positive trait that we possess. Next is self-sacrifice. This is actually connected with close family ties because we Filipinos are actually connected and dedicated with our families, right? We even put them on top of our priorities, even on top of ourselves. When we would actually ask somebody, any other Filipinos, why are they working so hard? We would actually hear that they are doing that for their future, for their dreams, and reasons for their sacrifices would never exclude family. Next is bayanihan. Since then, bayanihan had really been a culture of us Filipinos. Numbers of men would come by to help carry and move a house. Up until now, it is still practiced, but not in the form of carrying a house, but by supporting each other physically, mentally, emotionally, or financially through foundations or any other way that we could support each other. And lastly, bahala na. This is one example of, I think, a negative trait that we possess, because basically when we say this, we would just actually let things happen, positive, negative, or whatever the result could be. Sometimes we are too drawn with our fantasies, believing that fate always has something good to offer, even doing nothing. Bahala na kung ano ang para sa akin, mapapa sa akin. Although it is right because we would really get what we actually deserve, but how can we deserve that when we are not doing something to deserve that, right? How can opportunity flourish when we are taking it for granted? And for me, saying this means we are not doing our best. So that's all, guys. Those are just common traits and values of us Filipinos. So we are really rich in culture and tradition, but all we have to do is to flourish it and to preserve it for the next generation.
A colonial mentality is the internalized attitude of ethnic or cultural inferiority felt by people as a result of colonization. Being colonized by another group, it corresponds with a belief that the cultural values of colonizer are inherently superior to the one's own. Anya na habit, the perceived negative tendency of Spanish-speaking South Americans and Filipinos to procrastination and laziness. Ningas kugon ay isa sa wikain na nangangahulugan ng mga gawain na sa una lang masigasig, maganda o magaling, ngunit sa kalaunan ay hindi na. Crab mentality, also known as a crab theory or crab's in a bucket mentality, is a way of thinking best described by the phrase, "If I can't have it, neither can you." The metaphor is derived from a pattern of behavior noted in crabs when they are trapped in a bucket. Filipino time. being minutes to hours late compared to the standard time. It's like having our own clock.
Superstition or pamahiin. Superstitions is a belief or practice resulting from ignorance, fear of unknown, trust in magic or chance, or a false conception of causation towards the supernatural nature of resulting from superstition. So, one of the pamahiin or superstition is pagpag. So, pagpag is known na kaayo nato diri kay isa po na siya sa pamahiin, even if this year or this generation naga-exist gihapon ni siya, especially sa mga katigulangan. So, pagpag means the act of shaking of dust or dirt. Ginapagpag nila ilang mga sanina paggikan sila sa mga funeral na ganang gi-attend nila, or unless they have done the pagpag or gibuhat nila dito bago sila nakauli silang balay. So napay isa ka example, if you see a black cat, murag known naman jud na makahunana jud ta og kining bad luck or malason jud ka pag makita kag iring. So, mama dyan ang mga pamahiin sa una na pag makakita daw kag itong nairing kay kanang bad luck daw kay na siya. So, for me, the superstition of the people is those examples na ako ang giingon. That's it. And the second is the heroes and the icons. Hero is a mythological or legendary figure of divine descent endowed with death, strength, or the ability. So, here in the Philippines, meron tayong kinikilala na mga heroes and icons, which is the Filipino who are being recognized as a national hero. And isa na rito ay si Pepe or si Jose Rizal, Andres Bonifacio, General Luna, at marami pang iba. So, marami naman tayong kilalang heroes and icons dito sa Philippines. And is the myths and legends. So we all know what is the myths and legends. So folk narratives can either be in prose, the alamat, or the myth. The legend in the Latin word is legenda. So things to be read as a narrative of human actions that are perceived both teller and listener. So that's the human actions that perceive. So legend typically is a short or a mono. It's episodic, traditional, highly ecotypified, and historicized narrative. So performed in a conversational mode, the legend from Old French that entered English usage circa in 1340. Legende derives from the word medieval Latin legenda. According to Jacob Grimm, describes the fairy tale as the poetic legend and history. And Damiana 2000. Damiana Legion Eugenio was a Filipino female author and professor who has known as the mother of Philippine folklore. So, Philippine folk literature refers to the traditional oral literature of the Filipino people. Thus, the scope of the field covers the ancient folk literature of the Philippines, various ethnic groups, as well as the various pieces of the folklore become a single ethno-political unit. So that's the Damiano Tukso. Filipino makers. Proverbs is traditional sayings or kasabihan used by Filipino based on the local culture, wisdom, and philosophies. From Filipino life, proverb corresponds to the Tagalog word is salawikain or kasabihan. In English, sayings. So there's an example of Filipino proverbs. First example is still waters run deep. So in Tagalog, kapag ang dagat ay tahimik, asahan mo at malalim. And the second example is every pot has a matching lid. In Tagalog, walang palayok na walang kasukat na tungtong. So those are the examples of Filipino proverbs. Proverbs originating from the Philippines are described as a forceful and poetic expressions in basic forms of euphemism.
Hi guys, in line with our chapter 9, Political Self and Being Filipino, we will talk about 12 Little Things You Can Do by Alexander Lacson. According to him, the 12 little things we can do for our country are small acts of patriotism. The first one is follow the traffic rules, follow the law. Traffic rules are the most basic of our country's laws. If we learn to follow them, it could be the lowest form of national discipline we can develop as a people. A culture of discipline is crucial to our destiny as a nation. Second, always ask for an official receipt. Asking for official receipts leads to a higher tax collections, which means more funds for our government, which could strengthen our economy and lead us to progress. Third, don't buy smuggled goods. Buy local, buy Filipino. Our money should support our economy, not the economy of other countries. Buying Filipino product means supporting the Filipino. Fourth, speak positively about us and our country. Every Filipino is an ambassador of our country. Each of us, wherever we are, is a salesman of our country. Fifth, respect your traffic officer, policeman, and other public servants. Respect honors and dignifies a man. It compels him to do his job right. Sixth, throw your garbage properly. Segregate, recycle, conserve. Philippines is a country given to us as a people. It is the birthplace of our race. It is the home of the Filipino. We should keep it beautiful. 7. Support your church. Whenever we help our church, we help our Creator in His works on earth. 8. During elections, do your solemn duty. When we fight for our votes, we fight for our right to make our own destiny as a people and as a nation. 9. Pay your employees well. A company must bring prosperity not only to its owner but also to its employees. Blessings must be shared. It builds families. It builds our nation. 10. Pay your taxes. Taxes are the lifeblood of our government. It is what builds our public schools, hospitals, and roads. It is what we pay our teachers, soldiers, and other public servants. 11. Adopt a scholar or a poor child. Investing on our youth is investing on our country's future. Every family who can afford should adopt one poor child as a scholar. 12. Be a good parent. Teach your kids to love our country. If we start planting seeds of patriotism in the hearts and minds of our youth today, they would become a giant patriots of our country someday.
So this is the last topic, digital aspects of the South. It shows what the impact is on the wrong and proper use of technology.
I'm Marian V. Gonzalez, and today I'm gonna discuss or talk about what is digital self. So what is digital self? For you guys, what is your digital self? So people nowadays is exposing gadgets on social media account or using apps like Twitter, Instagram, Fiverr, YouTube, or we currently using now is Facebook. This social media is the #1 platform in the world that we are discovered our digital self. I bet each one of us has at least one social media account. We tend to be someone, or I'm not in the real world, but social media is more important to us, or that is the way that we are discovered ourselves. But with that being said, I think we have this personality that we thought that we don't have, but when exposed to a different situation, will we surface out, it has a lots of advantages, because compared to my real self I am, I am more confident and free, but likewise, it was its advantages being social media. I tend to be more open to myself being subject to the greater vulnerability. Why do we have a digital self? Because we feel that sense of belonging. Some of us want to fit with a crowd and upload things that we are down with a trend, to notice amount of people posting pictures of their food or it didn't come from nowhere. And for example, in our family gathering, instead of having a time to bond each other or eating together, the first step we do is praying, because that is our culture and values as a human. And it like parang hindi na siya na-apply ng mga tao, because we are more on focusing in social media. Like, instead of praying, isa-isa natin kunin yung cellphone natin, then take a picture of it and post it to our social media account. Because para sa atin is mas importante na makita ng iba kung ano ang kinakain natin or ano ang nasa atin. And that digital self is may advantages din siya sa mga millennials. Kasi yung mga millennials is hindi na nila na-apply yung culture natin because they are more focused on social media, and very sad. It's very sad na mas pinili nila yun na mundo kaysa sa pagiging kung ano tayo. Kasi yung iba, they are more open in social media. Like me, I am more open on social media. Doon ko mailalabas yung mga hinanakit ko. Like, oo, hindi naman sa pagiging plastic, pero totoo naman, di ba, na hindi natin ma-force yung tao na ma-apply yung culture kung anong meron natin. Kasi may mga ibang tao na lumaki sa digital world. Like, yun. And I hope you like it. Thank you.
So guys, dito nagtatapos ang aming video. And I hope you have learned a lot. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. And don't forget to subscribe.